Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. Today's vlog is just gonna be a day in the life of an unemployed ex-Meta, ex-Google software engineer. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't worked for May yet, nor is it my goal to work there. I just want a job. But a bit about me, I've been working as a software engineer for 3 years, which is insane to think about because I feel like I just graduated yesterday. My first 2 years were spent at a startup wearing multiple hats, but after some time I figured I needed a change, and just this past April, I took a software engineer 2 position at Udemy. It was pretty much everything I wanted in a job until it wasn't. After we released the beta for our product, our whole team got blown up and got shipped overseas because, capitalism. I felt like PJ Tucker getting waived by the Raptors after less than a year in the NBA and then forced to play overseas in the Israeli Premier League. Except in my case, PJ never made it overseas and instead spent his career playing street ball at the local park in his hometown of Raleigh, North Carolina. But yeah, after 3 years of employment, I am officially unemployed for the first time since I graduated college. But anyways, let's get back into the vlog. Literally just took apart my whole key. Let me just quickly explain what's going on here. So one of my key fob batteries was dying, so I replaced that, which was honestly a lot harder than it was supposed to be. All the buttons fell out somehow, so I had to kind of Lego piece it back together. And it's a reminder of why I only work with software. But anyways, it was satisfying when I got it pieced back together. You may have noticed me playing guitar and reading earlier. I actually try to start my mornings with a bit of worship and reading the Bible. I feel like the way you start your day is conducive to the way the rest of your day goes, and it just helps me stay grounded in my purpose. And then afterwards, I try to tackle some low-hanging fruit, making some phone calls, and a bit of budgeting to start off November. Okay, I'm starting to get hungry. I've been trying to save money and eat healthier, and I've been doing this sort of 2-day meal prep thing where I cook something for dinner and then save leftovers for lunch. Here are the leftovers. Last night I made gyudon for dinner, so that's gyudon for lunch. It saves me a bunch of time and also allows me to experiment with new foods because I honestly don't know myself well enough to know exactly what I want to eat every day for a week, and I feel like on the last day of meal prep, the food would just be so gross at that point, and I'd rather eat it fresh, so yeah, at least for now, this works perfectly for me. This dish was actually inspired by my recent trip to Japan. It's a popular Japanese dish of thinly sliced beef and onions served over rice. And I'm so glad I discovered this dish because it's way too good for the 25 minutes I spent making it last night. You literally just put sliced beef and onion in a wok, add some mirin, soy sauce, sugar, and fish stock, and then just reduce it. And then you sprinkle on some sesame seeds and green onions, and bam, you have this sweet and salty bowl of pure goodness.
There's a little bit of confusion. Foreign aid and wars we're involved in are usually two different things. So I agree with that. I couldn't really.
Alright, it's finally time to touch some grass, so I'm gonna wear some blue denim and put on this jacket, but oh wait, I don't really like that, so I'm gonna put on this jacket. I think the green and blue being analogous colors works well together. I'm gonna pair that with this beautiful Junghans Max Build timepiece. I'm gonna put on some Loam by YSL for that sweet, crisp, and light fragrance. Okay, so if you've gotten this far into the video, firstly, I appreciate you, and secondly, if you could engage with this video by giving it a like or even subscribing, I'd appreciate that even more. I'd love to continue creating good content for y'all. And lastly, as a token of my appreciation, I want to share the strategy I employed to land my second software engineer job at Udemy this past April. This week, I finished phase 1 of that strategy, which is updating my resume. If you have a shitty resume, it doesn't matter how good you are at interviewing or solving problems. I kind of think of a resume like a YouTube thumbnail. You want to try and increase your click-through rate. Like, how often is a recruiter going to pick up your resume from that pile and actually read it? To grab the recruiter's eye, you can employ subtle design techniques, but you don't want to go too overboard, and your resume should still be ATS friendly. For example, I increased the font weight and size of the position I held, which was software engineer, because that was more eye-catching over the name of a lesser-known startup company. But for this application cycle, I actually switched it to highlight the name of the company over the position because my current company is more well known, at least in the tech space. But once you grab their attention and actually get them scanning your bullet points, I think it's important that most of your bullet points have a clear action and impact. For example, here's a very concise one. The action, which is migrated internal tooling from Retool to Airplane, and the impact, which is enabling formal code reviews in GitHub, is very clear. But maybe there's a more comprehensive project you did where you want to highlight multiple skills, actions, or impacts. So that would look something like this. So in this one, I talk about ownership, which a lot of companies like to see, and I use a colon to list out all the things I did while keeping it in one sentence. Also, notice the impact of 75% that I have at the end there. I'll try to keep a mental note of the accomplishments that you've made in your past jobs and try to measure the impact. It can be as easy as setting up a stopwatch to measure how much time a certain optimization saved. In the next 2 weeks, I'll be releasing a video going over phase 2, which is applying and leveraging referrals, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I finished off my day with a few more LeetCode problems. I also keep a running list of all of the problems that I've done in Notion. It kind of helps me figure out what I struggle with and also helps me to just record and document all of my thoughts that I had going into the problem so that in the future, if I want to refer back to it, I can. So yeah, this week I pretty much finished editing my resume and also applied to about 30 jobs and did about 5 LeetCode problems. So I'd consider that a success for week 1. Mommy, is it a trick or a treat? Halloween cheese balls. Skittles. Ooh, I like these ones. Yes, lifesavers. Thanks, Mommy. I'm good. Huh? No, Mommy, I'm 24. I'm not trick-or-treating. No.